I'm Israel, and you're watching Underworld Voices.
Strike out, don't you know? What's it? Sonic Striker!
So what was your introduction into fashion? What made you want to start creating clothes for yourself?
I would say my introduction into fashion was when I was in high school, and when I wanted to, it was certain designer pieces that I was inspired by, but I couldn't afford them at the time. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just make my own pieces. And then after making my own pieces for a certain amount of time, I just fell in love with it, and it became really recognizable, and I was able to develop my own design language. So I just kept doing that, and I would like go to thrift stores or like use some of my clothes that I already had and like flip them. I would like deconstruct or paint on them and like really just like redefine the piece. So I've been doing that ever since.
Cool, man. So what led you to create such a unique and bold aesthetic? How'd you find that out?
Really, I saw a lot of what was going on in streetwear at the time and how streetwear was being introduced into the high fashion lane. And that really inspired me to want to push boundaries even further, especially because of a lot was going on. It was a lot of like saturation. There was a lot of different brands coming into play. And outside of that, internally, I just really wanted to make pieces that were really unique and were really innovative at the same time. And also taking my abstract approach. I've always been an abstract artist, so combining those approaches really just gave me a lane to where I was able to just innovate and create new design languages.
Gotcha. That's beautiful. Who would you say, like specifically, are there any designers or people that inspired you?
Yeah, Virgil Abloh was a big one, and ASAP Bari was a big one as well. Like seeing how they were able to take like a T-shirt and turn it into a whole house, and have shows for it as well, and have whole collections, really inspired me and let me know all I could do was just start. All I needed to do was start with one piece, start with one T-shirt, and I just kept on from there.
So how would you say your music blends into your passion for fashion? Like, what's the overlap? How does one kind of fit into the other?
I would say I've always really been inspired by rock music and rock stars, and like I've always seen myself as one, like since I was a kid. So the my music really touches the lines of like combining trap and synth punk and like all these different references from all these different parts of music, like electronic music, techno, and whenever I'm designing, that's the kind of music I'm listening to. A lot of techno, a lot of electronic, a lot of synth punk, and just hearing it so often, I naturally just became influenced by it. So my music as well, like when I'm making music, it naturally reflects that and is a melting pot of that.
Got you. And any specific artists in that genre that?
Yeah, I would say specific artists would be. I really like Drive Alone. Um, also I really like Michael Jackson. I like Megadeth,
Okay.
Led Zeppelin, um, Sex Pistols, Pure Hell, Bad Brains. The list goes on.
Cool, man. Quite the mix.
Yeah, for sure. Also, and when I was like, since I've been in high school, when I was in high school, I was really listening to ASAP. I was listening to ASAP Mob really heavy, and like from then on, still till now, I've always like really resonated with that innovative experimental music. So that's another collective that's really inspired my music and design influences as well.
Awesome, man. What other artistic mediums do you engage in or just like enjoy?
I engage in I engage outside of music and clothes. I do paintings and sculptures as well. And I also like to express myself through dance as well. And I'm a strong advocate for bringing that back into the culture. Like, of course, it's always been here, but like, I don't know, since like the 2000s and like before then, even like before then, seeing the movies that were coming out, like you would see like a dance battle in the middle of the street, middle of the sidewalk. And I like that energy because I feel like when we all listen to certain music, our bodies just naturally react to that frequency, and I want to really bring that back in a way.
Cool, man. So what part of the world do you think some of the best fashion comes from?
Shoot, I would say New York for sure. New York for sure. New York, Japan, Atlanta, um, and of course, Paris. I haven't been out there yet, but I'm mostly inspired by New York, Japanese fashion, and growing up in Atlanta, the fashion there as well.
Cool, man. Um, so what are some of your thoughts on just clothing in general and expression? What do you think, like, presenting yourself a certain way does for your soul?
I would say it's like you're really stepping into who you are, and it's like you're expressing yourself without even having to speak. And it also lets people know, also gives people an insight into your confidence level as well. Because if you're bold, it's like, oh, like okay, now I think I may want to try that out, or I may want to experiment more with my fashion. It kind of like builds on, like it can have a real positive domino effect, and that's something that I aim to keep going as well.
For sure, for sure. So do you believe in trends and staying up to date with what's popular, or do you think people should just wear whatever they want regardless of what's
Yeah,
popular, trendy?
I think people should just wear whatever they want, and that's something I really love about New York. Growing up in Atlanta, I would see a lot of trends. But however, like in New York, it's so many things here, so many different styles. It's like people really, they find their style and then they know how to really stick to it and create within that realm. And I admire that.
What do you think? Like, what time period do you think had some of the best fashion, or do you think we're in the best time for fashion?
I think we're in the best time for fashion now,
Okay.
especially because we get to look back on all those really innovative time periods like the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, like the 70s. We get to look at all these time frames and time periods and reference them and bring them into a futuristic approach. So, especially because we're on the cusp of like the AI age, robotic age, seeing kind of trends start to become a dinosaur, trends becoming like a dinosaur approach to fashion. Like now people are kind of just wearing whatever they want. So I see that. I see like now being the best.
Cool, man. What advice would you give someone who wants to get into creating clothes, and do you think they should go to school or pursue it on their own, or what would you say to that person?
I mean, I would say if you really want to get down into the detail of like pattern making, and you really want to like hone in on those certain aspects, I would encourage, if you want to go to school, but I don't think it's necessary at all. I think you can actually learn a lot by just trying to do it yourself, and using YouTube at school and like just learning from there. I didn't go to school for it. I really just started just drawing on t-shirts with Sharpie, and then it just kind of got me to this point. So it's really just like starting with wherever you can and just starting as soon as possible.
Awesome. What do you think the future of fashion is, and what direction would you like to see it going?
I think the future of fashion is going into a more in a more expressive direction, especially when it comes to outside of like texture. Cause I see textures becoming really big in the future, like outside of just prints and logos. Like the texture on certain fabrics is going to be really important. The shape and silhouette is going to constantly be important. And also, like adding certain things to your face or adding certain things to your head, like hairstyles or wearing like certain wigs. Like it's technically called a wig, but I call it a crown because when you put it on, it's like you're stepping into your most authentic self and your most like bold self, because it takes boldness to rock it. And if you ask anybody that's worn them, it's like once they put it on, they feel like they're kind of like they put on like the super suit in a way, you know? So I think adding that, or like even like certain like makeup or piercings is getting really popular now, but you know, like pulling that into the fit, making that a complete look is definitely gonna be what we see more in the future.
Gotcha. Well, where do you see your own clothes going from there?
I see my own clothes, you know, I plan on continuing to make clothes that are really, that have both form and function. I like to wear clothes that are like good for performance, because when I make music or just when I'm living, I like to be able to, you know, be active with what I'm wearing, but I also like it to look really sculptural at the same time. So I definitely plan on continuing to narrow into that and going down that rabbit hole in the future.
Cool, man. All right, so lastly, tell us about any projects, events, anything you got coming up you want people to know about.
So it's a lot coming up. It's a lot of pieces coming up, more crowns coming, and more music coming, more shows coming, more short films. It's a lot. It's a lot for sure.
All right, well, that's it. I appreciate you.
Bet.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate you.